Tune in, turn up, it's time to go. Deep talks and a crazy show. It's tune along, yeah, you know the name. Big ideas, fun and games. Hit that play, don't miss a beat. This is the podcast where we all meet.
Alright guys, what's going on? Today we're doing an episode of Toon Along. A little audio commentary. Feel free to just listen along just as a podcast if you want. I'm just going to be talking about the show I'm watching today and maybe other things that come to mind. Today's episode is going to be Goosebumps, Season 1, Episode 10. I believe it's called Night of the Living Dummy 2. Yeah, that's right. Night of the Living Dummy 2. You got Slappy. Slappy! Oh, I can't wait. I remember Slappy is my favorite Goosebumps character. In fact, the second movie came out, and he's in it. So let's go ahead and start the episode here, guys. Cue yourselves up. I'll let you know when the briefcase opens, so you guys can all be timed off here. And here we go. 3, 2, 1, play. Man's walking through the grass. Now take a look here. Let's take a look at the city. I always remember, he's overlooking a city. Let's take a look. Yeah. Now you see at the back of the city there's some kind of like a bay or some kind of body of water. I never remembered that, to be honest with you. This whole time I thought it was just a regular town, a bunch of little buildings and a school or something. Never noticed that bay. It looks, I don't know, it kind of looks artificial a little bit, the CG, but this is probably one of the best intros ever. You open the door, you go inside, and you got the various stories by R.L. Stine. R.L. Stine, one of the greatest horror, kids horror books, fantasy, whatever you want to call it. But what a great, I still have my old books from back in school. Night of the Living Dummy 2. Who doesn't love Goosebumps? I mean, if you grew up on Goosebumps, there's so many Goosebumps. And I guarantee I haven't read all of them. I guarantee you a lot of people haven't. So that's the fun part about Goosebumps is anybody you talk to about Goosebumps, you can, there's like 40, 50 books, 50-something books, maybe 60 with the specials, and 70 maybe. I'm talking about back in the 90s here. So, you're trying to get into Goosebumps with somebody, talk about Goosebumps, but not the show, the books. And then you say, what books did you read? What book did you read, And usually the people I talk to never read the book I read. I always read weird ones or tried to find something that, the cover looked pretty cool. Calling All Creeps, that was a cool cover with the dinosaurs. Night of the Living Dummy I never read, but I remember the show being amazing. And here's the other thing. Back when, my cousin was actually a, what do you call it? Like a fan club member of Goosebumps. He was a Goosebumps fan club member, if you will. And he would receive every month, various a book or, puzzles and games. And I don't know if you guys remember this, but they used to have these little medallions. And the medallions had like a picture of a Goosebumps character, like a mummy or Slappy or a skeleton, whatever it was. And it was in like 3D. And it kind of looked like the character was embalmed inside, kind of like Han Solo and Carbonite kind of thing, but it was really shiny, almost shiny like when you see gasoline in a water puddle in a parking lot, kind of like that kind of shine. And then on the back it had a G with a red. I'm gonna do a video on my Goosebumps books and that stuff, because Goosebumps, honestly, it's my childhood. It's my before going to bed, read a few chapters of Goosebumps, read a book maybe in the afternoon, go back to school. If ever you had to do a book report, classic. Goosebumps was an easy pick, and you know what? At one point, I think a few of my teachers said, you know what, guys? It's book report time and no Goosebumps. She didn't want to hear it. A lot of teachers started banning Goosebumps, I think, from book reports. Oh, that's so creepy. Slappy! Ooh, I can't wait. Slappy. Oh, speaking of Slappy, if you guys seen the second movie, Goosebumps 2, I've seen the first one with Jack Black. Great movie. It's actually a lot of fun, though. As far as cinema goes, it's a kids movie. It's a kids teen movie. For people who enjoy the movie, the books and the show back when. Take a look at it. It's okay. It's good. Now, the second one came out, just went straight to VHS and DVD video cassette there. And I got to say, I started watching it maybe back in Halloween, and I didn't finish it. Simply for the reason that I was busy. I was doing something, started watching the movie, and then halfway, maybe 10% in, not even halfway, 10% in, I got caught up on something and I never watched it. And then I came back just this week, or last week, it might have been, and I watched it. It was good. I actually thought it was a really good movie. A couple faces you can recognize in there. And spoiler alert, but Mr. Jack Black appears at the end, which I would have to say is probably due to his contract, right? Like if he would have made his first movie in his clause in his contract, they would have written, listen, you need to be available for Goosebumps 2 and 3 and whatever we decide to do. And they said, fine, we'll be available. But in his contract, he said, okay, but it might just be a minor role, And the minor role is just coming back, driving the car like he did in the movie. I'm going to say it. The second movie I actually enjoyed more than the first one. The only reason I enjoyed the first one as much as I did is because of Jack Black. The fact that he's in it, he's quirky, he's doing his thing. But in the second movie, the kids, they take over the show. I mean, I was expecting the eyebrow. Or is he going to move? No, okay. See, they keep you on the edge. I remember that back in the old days in Goosebumps, they tickled you at the beginning when they were going to scare you, especially Slappy. You knew it was coming because if you see, this is Night of the Living Dummy 2. And in the first one, you had no idea, but this is the second one. I looked for the first one. I couldn't find it. Maybe it's in there somewhere. Now, speaking of another show like this, now this got me thinking with the camera moving like that. If you guys remember, Are You Afraid of the Dark? Now, Are You Afraid of the Dark? Funny story about that, okay. When I was growing up in elementary school, going to school, in grade 6, and actually just graduated. I was probably in kindergarten, grade 1. And one of the actors from that show, I think it's the kid with the glasses at the beginning, him or there was another kid. They went to my school. They went to my elementary school. And they did a little seminar. They talked about how they worked on the show, and they had graduated. They might have been past graduates, actually. Anyways, and then a buddy of mine, also growing up on his street, he had an actor from the TV show Student Bodies, if you guys remember Student Bodies at all. He had one of the actors in there. And and same thing with Are You Afraid of the Dark? So we've seen a lot. In fact, I've met a lot of people, throughout my childhood. Oh, there's Slappy's eyes are moving. But now I met a lot of people throughout my childhood that have met these actors as well. So it's just it's interesting. It's a small world in some regard with certain shows. And if you guys also remember on YTV, they used to have a show called 15 Love. And on that show, they had a lot of, I would say, Canadian actors. Probably from the YTV Academy or something. Something that was local, locally brewed acting school for kids or something. And they showcased them in this tennis show, right? And I remember seeing a couple of their faces later on in commercials and various maybe other YTV spin-offs and whatnot. I'm going to do a whole video on YTV, actually, because, like I said, I grew up in Canada. If you grew up in the U.S., you're probably watching this on Nickelodeon. Or Are You Afraid of the Dark? On Nickelodeon, you're probably watching this on, I forget what channel Goosebumps played on. Maybe Fox, I think it was. I don't remember. But just imagine, all these old shows. You got, you've got Are You Afraid of the Dark? You've got Goosebumps, Tales from the Crypt. They're trying to keep you spooked, It's a good time to be living in the 90s and being naive. I mean, there was no internet back then. I mean, children didn't have the access they do today. Let's put it that way. So the naivety of it is a whole new level. When you're watching a scary show back then, lights are off, parents are asleep. It's 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, and Goosebumps comes on, and lights are off. It better be a happy episode, because if it's Slappy, holy crap! I'm turning on the lights. Like, that guy freaked me out. Not gonna lie, freaked me out. Especially 7, 8 years old. You're watching Goosebumps, and then right after you're really hoping that something good comes on, right? Or you're really excited to see any kind of YTV host come up and say, "Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to YTV," and or they'll do a small little promo ad, Well, that's freaky. That face. No, but what I was going to say earlier about Goosebumps 2, my whole point about Goosebumps 2, actually, Slappy looks a lot scarier in the in this TV show than he did in the movie. Not that they didn't do a good job with Slappy, in the movie. I thought he looked fine. I thought he looked okay, but from personal preference, I prefer the one on the TV show. Just the creepiness, the awkwardness, the imperfectness of it, But in the movie, it looked too perfect. It looked too artificial. It didn't look like an aged ventriloquist dummy. It looked like a prop for it kind of looked like they grabbed it out of Toy Story 4. Remember those little dummy characters they had in the inside of that antique store? Oh, guys, I forgot to mention as well. Started doing a little bit of video game streaming as well. So I haven't put anything on YouTube yet. I'm editing some of the video. I'm going to play with it, see how things are going to look and sound, and work their way out. But if you have a chance, go on Twitch. Just Toon Along on Twitch. It's Toon Along Twitch, and been playing some Samurai Jack. Samurai Jack for the GameCube, The Shadow of Aku. I might play a little bit maybe later tonight or tomorrow night, depending on how it's going. But I definitely wanted to do an episode of Toon Along. It's been a while. I haven't tuned in. Supposed to be tuning in. I haven't tuned in. I took a little break back in February, March, somewhere around there. And then when the little, not the little, but the major event in the world happened here, was in the house a little more. So I started doing my Toon Along back again. And I'm glad I did, honestly. I'm glad I did. I'm glad I'm watching some cartoons again. I'm getting the motion of enjoying them. I haven't been, enjoying them as much of late. And I wanted to do the podcast and the show and the YouTube channel and everything just to showcase my appreciation for these shows, these cartoons, this saga of childhood memories that still remains, that people are maybe going to start slowly overlooking or dismissing, and I already have and already are. So I just wanted to give my perspective on these old shows one last time, one more, because in reality, are you ever going to rewatch every single episode of cartoons that you've ever seen in your life? No. So all I'm doing is I'm going back watching. Oh, that's creepy. See, how creepy is that? Look at that. Look at that Slappy. So all I'm doing is just going back, reliving those moments in present day future. Maybe I'll do it later on, but I'm doing the significant shows and the significant episodes that I can remember or start off. Most of the episodes have been episode 1, season 1, episode 1. Hoping to grow on that a little bit and just make a second episode on each show. Maybe just showcase my favorite episode. But there's just so much content out there. Same with Goosebumps. You got 4 seasons of Goosebumps. This is season 1, episode 10, as I mentioned earlier. And for you guys who are queuing up on the stream or on the show right now, Daddy is scolding his daughter. They're talking about how she stands up now, talking about how she didn't do it and it was the dummy, and how you gonna believe that, right? And I mean, at the end of the day, when I was a kid, I always had these ideas. If I had a possessed dummy, what would I do with it, right? And I started thinking, I said, just go burn it or throw it outside. And second of all, why would I want a dummy like that? If I'm going to get a dummy, I want him to look stupid and funny. That one just looks creepy. Absolutely creepy. The other one looked creepy too. But is it this one or the next one? I think it's this one where the original dummy there, the one you see at the beginning, that guy right there in the red shirt, he comes to life as well, if I recall. Yeah, and when you pan that view, it's just classic. But here's the thing, okay? You're growing up in the 90s. How many movies came out in the 90s, or how many shows and movies showcased a doll, like a ventriloquist doll or some kind of antiquity, possessed item, and did it in this manner? They were really one of the first. I'm saying as far as kids, because I'm sure they did this in the 1930s and 40s and 50s. They might have had something like that, or I could be totally wrong. Or Alfred Hitchcock really, broke the screen when it came to horror, and then everything from there had to be crazier. So the dummy thing, maybe this is the first one. Who knows? But today you've got how many Annabelle movies? How many of these doll movies and possessed dolls? Right there, that's the classic. That's the classic scene when he's holding the guitar up in the air. Just so creepy. Just the face looks angry. The expression, the veins, the cracks and the creases. pretty cool. Not gonna lie, I think Slappy's a cool character. I think he's one of the more memorable characters from Goosebumps. If you had to think about other Goosebumps characters, I mean, aside from the books, you're looking at a book cover. Like I said, Calling All Creeps, you got those dinosaurs. Oh, I'm thinking of the Halloween Trick or Treat or Die, something like that, where they have to trick or treat forever. That's actually a really good episode. One of my favorites, because the episode's pretty fun. They're going around, they're trick or treating. There's different characters. The kids are having fun. And then at the end they realize, too much of one thing could be bad. It's the moral of the lesson. It's a story. There's the classic. I told you guys, I gotta go work at the bank. I gotta go to the office. Have your orange juice. Classic breakfast. Everyone eating breakfast together. That guy looks a little old to be your dad. I mean, I'm not judging, but no, maybe not. I could be wrong. He might have been a little younger, and then he had 3 kids, and then he got bald, right? But the mom's pretty young for. Mom looks so young, but maybe it's the thing with Goosebumps. I'd have to take a look. Maybe we can do like a compilation. I mean, I'm not going to do it right now, but we can do like a compilation of Goosebumps parents, each parent set, and see the similarities. Because I don't know if it's just me. There seems to be a pattern. I don't know. Another Goosebumps episode that I can remember that I can have very good fond memories of. Not fond, but very good memories of. Is what was it called? Townsville. There's 3 episodes. There's 3 parts. The kids find a baseball, cutout model. Let's say it's a little model of a baseball field town. I think it's a town actually. Now I think about it. And there's a baseball field in the town. Okay, there's a baseball field in the town. It's a big modeled city, and they bring it home. And I don't know what happens. Maybe they read something on it, spell, and then they end up getting sucked into the town in the baseball game. These 2 kids that love baseball, and then later they get rescued. They get out, and then they throw it out. And then the girl, the neighbor, she's in the previous episode as well, but just for a brief moment, she finds it, and then she takes it, and then she gets sucked in, and then she's selling lemonade, and she's starting to get greedy. She's raising her prices. She's supply and demanding it. Kind of deal, and she's getting greedy, and the whole, she's becoming a greedy pig, and another moral of a story, right? And then I think there's a third one. I don't remember the third one by heart, but I think there's a third one. But those are cool. Those are really cool stories, and I mean, look at what she's wearing. She's wearing what's that called? Like a onesie? What do you call those? I forget the name of them because I haven't seen them in so long. Those kind of those jean pants, like farmer pants. Dungarees? Are they called dungarees, right? Something like that. You don't see many people wearing that anymore. I wonder why. Or grown men, unless you're on the construction site, there are some plumbers that still wear those, and they're very comfortable. I think. If I was gonna wear, I'd rather wear that instead of have a wedgie. But back then, I mean, I remember wearing that when I was a kid. How many of you guys remember wearing those things? Are you still wearing them today, or do you still see people wearing them? Who knows? Slappy. Oh, she got him. Oh, if I recall, doesn't Slappy break his head and then green comes out, and the green is supposed to be, like the Goosebumps magic, the Goosebumps factor? Oh, shit. I remember that. Okay. Yeah, I remember when the 2 girls now finally meet him and he turns. That's when I was like, oh, shit. This is real. Maybe I should start running now because now everyone's involved. Yeah, Goosebumps has such a good way of telling the story in the book as well as the show. Now, I'm trying to remember, did Goosebumps have, did they just use the book as a script, or did they change things up a bit? I'm trying to remember, and I think sometimes, in some occasions, some of the book may have been some of the show may have been changed from the book. Now, I can't give specific examples, but I feel like that was a thing. Not everything, maybe just subtle things, but they did do it just for the purpose of, filming a TV show. Oh yeah, this scene here. He's yelling, how come the parents aren't even up? I'd be screaming. I'd be getting my parents, hey, there's voodoo magic in the house. Mom, Dad, or maybe the parents are out. If they I swear, if they come out from bed and they're pissed after and you broke my thing, these are the worst parents. irresponsible. It'd be so freaky if the mom and dad were going and helping them and they were freaked out too. As a kid, I think I'd be freaked out. But today you could probably do it easily. Thinking about R.L. Stein's, what was it? What's it called? The R.L. Stein Tales, Horror Tales. God, I'm sorry, I'm butchering it. Haunting Hour. That's right. The R.L. Stein Haunting Hour. That's what I'm thinking of. And basically, I remember catching a glimpse once again on YTV. Hang on, we'll just finish the episode and I'll continue my train of thought. So yeah, right here, Slappy. He means business. He's freaking out. Look at it. This is one of the most intense scenes in the entire show because you're wondering, like, as a kid, you're not questioning see how easy it was to kill him. I was going to say, as a kid, you're not questioning how you're going to kill him. It was so easy. They could have just kicked him. He wasn't that scary. See, that's why in the movie, I would say in the movie he's more scary in terms of his powers, but in the TV show, he's scarier as a character. He looks scarier. I swear. Parents come down right as they crash it. Are you kids okay? Wait, were they out? Okay, that makes more sense. I'm an idiot. Sorry, guys. They were out, right? That would make way more sense. Oh, yeah, okay, this is it. Yeah, now I remember. The whole family's in it. Yes. Perfect Goosebumps. I'm so glad I watched this tonight. I completely forgot about it. Hey, guys, that's the end of the episode. But I completely forgot about that the parents do see him at the end, and that's the cliffhanger. And I do remember, actually, I just had a flashback. I do remember credits come on, and I do remember being so freaked out, like, oh, wait, what are they saying? Like, can that really happen? You're 8 years old in the 90s. You're not questioning it. You're just wondering, hey, can it happen? And by golly, oh, that looked good. But anyways, as I was saying earlier, so R.L. Stein, The Haunting Hour, I remember watching YTV. I was living in an apartment and they offered free TV, so I took it, and YTV was one of the channels. And I remember just flipping the channel and saying, hey, what's on YTV these days? And this would have been maybe like 5-6 years ago. Yeah, about that time. 5-6 years ago. Maybe less. But I remember going on YTV and just watching a show. And I remember just seeing something RL, but it didn't finish. Like it was just ending. And I saw RL or something. And then I just remember watching and being like, hey, this has a similar flow, a similar vibe. And I didn't think anything of it. And I didn't put one and one together. But I remember saying, okay, I hope there's another episode. And I remember later on seeing, R.L. Stein. I said, R.L. Stein. Isn't that the guy that wrote Goosebumps? Yeah, of course. So I click on it. It says R.L. Stein Haunting Hour. I go, what is this? So I watch the episode. And I go, hey, this is like Goosebumps. This is like modern day Goosebumps. The kids have cell phones. It's like a regular house. And then I'm watching. And I think it was the episode with Uncle Howie. How we doing? Featuring Tom Kenny as Uncle Howie. Basically the guy wearing... like a circus entertainer hat, playing the piano, just being goofy and creepy, and another lesson story on how to be nice to your sister type thing, right? But the whole point is, the moral of the episode is so childish, right? But the delivery is really good. It was actually, even watching it as an adult back then, a few years back, I still felt a little creeped out and freaked out. I remember watching them, with some of the family, showing my friends after, and same reaction. So we started watching, Haunting Hour a little bit more, catching a few episodes, and then, falling in love again with it, and then just got me thinking about, Goosebumps, and then, starting to get my old books back, take a look at that, and then the movie comes out, and the second one comes out. So I'm just excited to see what Goosebumps has coming next. I'm really excited, actually. I'm really hoping, if you remember back in the day, like I said, they used to have the old board games. It'd be really cool if they brought back that old board game, or at least a version of it, in some way or form. It would be cool. I'm just saying that's something I would personally like. Or how about a new series of books, which I think he already did, right? He did bring out a bunch of those new series, classic creeps. I forget what they're called. But I do have a couple of them, and but I'm just trying to think outside. What else could Goosebumps do? What could we expect or desire from for Mr. Stein himself. But for right now, I'll keep you with that train of thought. And let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to write some comments. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Check out the YouTube. Check out the Twitter. Check out the Facebook. I'm all over the place. I'm right now on YouTube. I've been putting up a bunch of commercials. I found in my old VHS tapes from back early 2000s for Foxbox, YTV, a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm just trying to grab some of the commercials, some of the specials, some of the little snippets and bumpers and promos from each thing. And I know a lot of those things could be hard to find. You would have only been able to get it if you recorded that day or something, right? It's every day some of the hosts were saying different things. It was a new different whole new ball game, if you will. So I don't know. It's just nice to go back in time, a little time machine, back in the VHS and see those old memories. So with that being said, like I said, check out the YouTube, check out everything, subscribe. Can't get enough of me, can you? Well, anyways, take care, guys. I hope everybody's doing good out there, and we'll see you on the next episode. Hope I catch you there. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening. You can find the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all your favorite platforms. Check out YouTube for retro content. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook, and visit toonalong.com for more info. Support us on Patreon, and we'll catch you next time.
Toon along, yeah, you know the name. Big ideas, fun and games. Hit that play, don't miss a beat. This is the podcast where